that is sliding filament theory. To explain the mechanism of muscular contraction, that is sliding filament theory, here on the screen you can see the structure or the diagrams showing you the muscle contraction. Sliding filament theory was proposed by Huxley and A.F. Huxley, that is H.E. Huxley and A.F. Huxley. This is the best acceptable theory for explaining muscle contraction. It is also called as walk along theory. The basic concept of this theory is interaction between actin and myosin, which causes muscle contraction. That is, actin filaments are interdigitated with myosin filament, like the crossing of fingers of two hands. The head of the myosin is joined into the myosin backbone by a cross bridge, forming a hinged joint. From this joint, the head can tilt in forward and backward directions. This movement is an active process which requires the use of ATP. Myosin head contains ATPase activity, and thus it can derive energy by the breakdown of ATP molecule. This energy can be used for the movement of myosin heads. During contraction process, the myosin heads get detached to the active site of actin filaments and pull them inwardly, so that actin filaments slide over the myosin filaments. This results in the contraction of the muscle fiber. We know that actin filament, that is F-actin, bears certain active sites. When the muscle is relaxed, the active site remain uncovered with tropomyosin and troponin complex. Due to this, myosin cannot interact with active sites of actin, and therefore contraction cannot occur. I repeat, when the muscle is relaxed, the active sites remain covered with tropomyosin and troponin complex. Therefore, contraction cannot occur. When the action potential or impulse comes to the muscle through motor and plate junction, it spreads throughout the sarcolemma of the myofiber. Each myofiber, the muscle from each myofiber, the impulse is received by T tubules. In response, L tubules releases a large number of calcium ions into the sarcoplasm. These calcium ions are combined with troponin C molecule. This combination inactivates tropomyosin complex, and conformational changes occurs in the structure of tropomyosin. As a result, it gets detached from the active sites of actin or F-actin filaments, and thus active site become uncovered. Now the head of the myosin cleaves the ATP and derives energy. Using this energy, it gets attached to the uncovered active sites of actin and results in the formation of actomyosin complex. The myosin heads are now tilted backwards and pull the attached actin filament inwards. This results in the contraction of the muscle fiber. Reverse of this processes occur during relaxation muscle fiber. I would summarize the mechanism of the muscle contraction. When an impulse from a motor nerve travels and is received by the sarcolemma, there is generation of action potential on the sarcolemma. This action potential is also developed in the T tubule. In the T tubule only, there are L tubules which releases. T tubules are the storehouse of the calcium ions. So the L tubule now releases calcium ions in the sarcoplasm. The release of the calcium ions combined with troponin C of the actin filament, and there is occurrence of a conformational change in troponin and tropomyosin complex. Then the active sites of actin filaments become uncovered due to the occurrence of conformational changes in troponin and tropomyosin. Since the active site of actin is uncovered, the myosin head breaks up ATP to derive energy, and this myosin head gets attached with active site of actin filament, thereby forming actomyosin complex, and the myosin head then tilt and pull the actin filaments towards them, and the actin filaments slide over the myosin filament and contraction occurs. This way, the two Z lines, they also shorten, and I have already mentioned to you the distance between the two Z line is the functional unit of the myofibril. Therefore, the Z lines when shorten, it shows contraction. Then if the condition is reversed, that is the occurrence of the relaxation of muscles. So during the relaxation, all the events occur in reverse direction. At the time of relaxation, when stimulation is terminated, the actomyosin complex is broken down and myosin heads get detached from the actin filament. This process also involves the use of ATP. At the same time, the calcium ion return back to the L tubule in the sarcoplasmic reticulum. This is also an active process that uses ATP. Due to disappearance of calcium ions, troponin, tropomyosin complex is again re-established, that again covers the active site of actin filament. Due to this, interaction between actin and myosin ceases to occur, and thus actin filament return back to their original position. This results in the muscle's relaxation. So students, you have to keep in mind that like contraction, relaxation is also an active process that requires the use of ATP. Then this restoration of ATP is in that pattern, like during the contraction and relaxation, ATP is consumed. Therefore, a prompt restoration of ATP in muscles is very essential to keep the process continued. So to restore ATP, muscles have a high energy compound called creatine phosphate. I repeat, to restore ATP, muscles have high energy compound called creatine phosphate. This compound reacts with ADP to form ATP and creatine. So when ADP plus creatine phosphate combines, or you can say when ADP combines with creatine phosphate, it releases ATP and creatine. Although ATP is restored, the amount of phosphate, creatine, gets decreased in the muscles. Therefore, immediately after the muscle contraction, creatine is converted into creatine phosphate using ATPs, which is generated by the mitochondria. Now, the ATP combines with creatine to form ADP and creatine phosphate. This way, ATP is restored. Thank you.